Bitcoin is doing incredibly well right now, but for some reason it feels like it's a secret. It's a secret between you, me, and the other crypto investors. The big dogs know it, the big investors, the people buying into ETFs and buying Bitcoin know it. I feel like I know it, but the majority of the world does not realize what's happening in Bitcoin right now and why Bitcoin is becoming so scarce. The point of this video is to talk about why 0.21 Bitcoin is going to become unobtainable for the majority of people out there in the world. Today, this amount of Bitcoin can be had for about $10,000. But if the price predictions of what Bitcoin is going to go to, the 100,000, the 250,000, the 500,000, the 1 million, if those predictions come true, which I definitely think 100,000, 200,000 is right in line with the next couple of years, 0.21 Bitcoin is going to dramatically become unavailable to the majority of people. 0.21 Bitcoin, which can be had for about $10,000 today, will be worth either $50,000, $60,000, or it will be worth $100,000 plus. So an investment like that today could be well worth over 10x in coming time. And I want to talk about why this is becoming unobtainable and what we should be doing about it right now. The stacking game has changed dramatically year over year in a lot of ways for Bitcoin holders, but in a lot of ways it's not so different. People try their hardest and they stack as much Bitcoin as they can on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly lump sum or DCA. They try and do their best to stack as much Bitcoin as possible. But what really has been changing, especially from the beginning of 2023 or the ending of 2022 to today, is how much they're able to stack and what the stacking goals are. I think currently a very good stacking goal for most people would be 0.21 Bitcoin. It's about $10,000. It's right on the edge of what people can kind of push themselves to get to if they cut some things out or, save some money here and there or really budget and strap it down. $10,000 is a very reasonable goal for a lot of families or a lot of single individuals. But just a couple years ago, this stacking game was totally different. People had goals in early 2023, late 2022 of stacking 2.1 Bitcoin, 1 millionth of the total supply of Bitcoin. This was the goal for a lot of people, and that was trading for about $30,000 at the time when Bitcoin was around $15,000. So just a couple years ago, we were talking about stacking 2.1 Bitcoin as a goal for a lot of people. After a couple of months, after Bitcoin changed from 15,000 to maybe 20, 25,000, 30,000, the goal dramatically changed. Now people are talking about stacking just 1 Bitcoin. They want to hold just 100 million Satoshis at 1 Bitcoin. And that was really kind of like a push, but also attainable for a lot of people. Again, if they really strapped it down. So we can see as time goes on and the Bitcoin price increases, people's ability to purchase isn't going to change dramatically as the price of Bitcoin changes dramatically. The price of Bitcoin has the ability to rapidly outpace people's earning power as the dollar kind of devalues over time. What we see here is a historically volatile stacking goal that people constantly have to change if they're focusing on a goal. If you're just stacking to stack and not really focusing on a goal to have you some motivation or some discipline, then go ahead and keep stacking. But if you are stacking when Bitcoin is around $20,000 or $30,000, your goal is probably to stack that 1 Bitcoin. As time progressed, 2024 rolled around, late 2023, and Bitcoin starts its famous run-up pre-halving. Now we're at a $50,000 Bitcoin. As this happened, you could have watched people stack their goal from 1 Bitcoin now down to just half a Bitcoin or a quarter of a Bitcoin, or even today when people are talking about stacking 0.21 of a Bitcoin instead of 2.1 Bitcoin. As Bitcoin did a 10x, the stacking goal for a lot of people did a 10x decrease, right? So as we can expect Bitcoin to do 10x increases, we can expect people's earning power and spending power and saving power to stay the same, and the stacking goal of people to 10x decrease. Currently, $50,000 Bitcoin, I think the best stacking goal for a lot of people is that 0.21 Bitcoin. It's about $10,000. Maybe even a quarter Bitcoin would be a 0.25 Bitcoin, a little bit higher. That's a great goal for people. But as Bitcoin's going to run up in price from 50,000 to 100,000, we can expect another decrease in what people are going to be able to stack, with 0.1 Bitcoin even being an unachievable goal for a lot of people. If we look at the current value of Bitcoin today, 2.1 Bitcoin would be worth about 100 grand. 1 Bitcoin's worth about 50 grand, and our goal of 0.21 is worth about 10 grand. Now, I love looking at Bitcoin in moving the decimal point. 2.1, 0.21, 0.021, which is the next logical decimal spot, that's about $1,000 today. So after 0.21 moves into, $50,000 territory, the next goal people are going to have is 0.21, and that can be had for about $1,000 today. Now, what's really interesting is if you had 2.1 Bitcoin, you own 1 millionth of the Bitcoin total supply. 0.21 is 10 millionth of the total supply, and 0.021 is 100 millionth of the total Bitcoin supply. Now, I don't know about you, but if you want to get your ownership of Bitcoin's total supply today, I would highly recommend start stacking now and get that 0.21 Bitcoin while it's still obtainable for around $10,000. The next craziest thing to think about is if these price predictions that we have for Bitcoin come true, if $100,000 Bitcoin or $200,000 Bitcoin or $500,000 Bitcoin comes true, the price of 0.21 Bitcoin, which again can be bought today for $10,000, dramatically increases. So if we get to $100,000 Bitcoin, 0.21 Bitcoin becomes worth $21,000, around $20,000. If we get to $200,000 Bitcoin, the price of 0.21 Bitcoin goes to $40,000. It's actually $42,000, which is dramatically higher than today's price of $10,000. That's a return that would be unheard of in a lot of markets. Now, the craziest one is if Bitcoin gets to $500,000, your 0.21 Bitcoin is worth $105,000, essentially making your $10,000 investment a 10x from here at today's current price. The point of this video is to highlight how rapidly your ability to buy your share of the Bitcoin total supply is going away. Bitcoin is going to appreciate faster than anyone can ever imagine. Today, Reddit announced their IPO, and on their treasury sheet, their balance sheet, they have Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin. So we have tons of companies, tons of individuals, tons of large-scale investors who are going to be buying Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin-related products. So the ability to buy 0.21 Bitcoin, currently at $10,000, is rapidly fading away. Now, if you think 0.21 Bitcoin is not a lot of Bitcoin, you're completely wrong. I know we can see the stories of people buying multiple hundreds of Bitcoins in 2015 for very, very little money compared to what they're worth today, but that's okay. It's okay to miss the boat. I didn't even know Bitcoin was a thing in 2015, but buying 0.21 Bitcoin today is still going to rapidly increase your net worth over the next couple years and rapidly help you fight inflation and rapidly help you get that dream of saving or that dream of a house or whatever dream you have. 0.21 Bitcoin today is a reasonable, respectable goal, and it's going to be worth, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 in just a few years' time. I love looking how the Bitcoin price changes as you move the decimal, and in the coming years, we're going to move the decimal, and you can watch people move their stacking goal from 0.21 Bitcoin to 0.1 Bitcoin to 0.021 Bitcoin to 0.01 Bitcoin, right? So these are going to happen. People are going to earn the same and invest the same, and the amount of Bitcoin that they're going to be able to buy is going to rapidly diminish. So I hope you start buying your Bitcoin today, whether it's through Bitcoin on a hardware wallet, Bitcoin on exchange, or Bitcoin ETF related products. Whatever is the best way for you to get some Bitcoin, I think you will be happily surprised with how it turns out in 2025 if you start buying Bitcoin today. Down in the pinned comment, we have an awesome Bitcoin t-shirt. If you want to help support the channel, we'd appreciate it if you just took a look at that. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.